Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
And then 1, 2, hey, hey.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Move and a second that the meeting be resumed. Move Councillor Kirkland, seconded Councillor Rutherford. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thanks very much, councillors. We'll move on to our next agenda item that we've ironed out some of the IT issues, and thank you very much, Karen, for helping us work through that. And Tom, thanks very much, Tom, for your help in that space. Into the Woods, yes. I just put in my application to attend that one, so it should be good. Looking forward to it. Okay, 11.6, I'll hand over to Martin to present that report on the tender consideration plan for the Archer Street drainage scheme. Thanks very much, Martin.
Thanks, Mayor. Morning, councillors. Very briefly, of this particular report, councillors will be aware that we received some federal government funding to undertake some drainage works on Archer Street, called Archer Street Drainage Scheme Stages 1 and 2, which is effectively another drainage pipe that will run from the river through to about Denison Street. It's worth about $5.5 million, of which we've got 50% funding from the federal government. What this report is seeking to do is to seek to appoint AECOM as our detailed designer for that particular project. AECOM have been involved in this particular project since about 2017. They originally come up with the concept plan back as part of the South Rockhampton Local Catchment Study. More recently, in 2020, they conducted the preliminary design work for this, in which the funding submission was based and sent to the federal government to get the funding. So we're essentially seeking that we appoint AECOM as the detailed designer for this particular project without going to tender under a tender consideration plan. So essentially we're looking to utilise AECOM because of their extensive knowledge of this particular project. They are a locally based consultant. Not only are they the locally based consultant, but the actual team that's worked on this particular project are locally based in the local office, which makes it a lot easier for us. They're already on our panel of pre-qualified suppliers. There is a fair bit of complexity and risk associated with this particular project, which AECOM understand and have gained a greater understanding through the preliminary design work. And so I'm thinking that if we try and introduce a new designer at this particular point in time, we will then be going back a step back through the preliminary design phase to re-prosecute all the complexities and risks that we've already discussed with AECOM. That's essentially the basis of my report, and seeking Council's endorsement of appointing AECOM as the detailed designer under a tender consideration plan.
Thanks very much, Martin. Subject to this being approved, will that final report then come back to the council so they get a good understanding of the project detail and what that means?
Yeah, I think probably the last time councillors may have seen any detail about this particular project was when we sought funding from the federal government. So I'm happy to send out a little bit more detail, maybe even some of the preliminary design plans for councillors to have a look at, so to get a bit more familiar with the project. Yeah, it is somewhat complex, obviously. Building a large diameter pipe drainage system through an already developed urban area in the CBD has some complexities. Yeah,
understood. I think it might be one in a briefing session, might be something we need to bring along to one of those, Evan, so not for decision papers, but for information for councillors. So.
Yep.
Okay, thanks very much, Martin. I've got a couple of lights on, so I'll go to the spokesperson for infrastructure, Councillor Smith. Thank you, Councillor Smith.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that recommendation. I think it would be silly to introduce a new contractor into there. AECOM have done a lot of work for us in the past, and if our engineers are happy with that, well, I'm happy. So happy to move the recommendation.
Thank you. Councillor Wickerson.
Oh, thanks, Mayor. Through to you, Martin. Just a couple of questions. I guess it's not possible to call for tenders at the preliminary stage because there's lots of unknowns at that, but also with the construction costs changing by the minute, it seems that it wouldn't be just feasible to do a tender back at the first stage as a package.
We did actually tender the preliminary design work, and AECOM won that tender. Yeah. We did give some consideration to moving into this detailed design and delivery phase as a design and construct. Yeah. But what we're finding is that the risk appetite of contractors at the moment is very low, and so we're getting heavily inflated prices. What I wanted to achieve here was produce the detailed design, get an updated order of cost estimate from the consultant, and have a decision point there which will tell us whether what the funding we had applied for is going to be sufficient or not before moving into and committing to actual construction.
Yep, no, that's what I assumed. The second one, and it might be too early for this too, but is there going to be a gross pollutant trap included in that system going straight into the river?
Well, I'll have to get back to you on that one, Councillor Wickerson. I quite recall there was a chamber on the outlet at Archer Street, but I'm not sure what's in it. I'll have to have a look for you.
We've had one on trial for a number of years now, I think, through the environment team, which seems to be doing its job. It has stuff in it, which is good. So if the trial's successful, to make it matter of course to include it in any major works that are going. But
Yep. No, I'll certainly get back to you, and I'll have to take that one on notice.
okay, Martin, thank you.
Thanks very much, Councillor Wickerson. Councillor Kirkland, question?
Oh, thanks, Mr Mayor. I'll just respond to Councillor Wickerson just on that gross pollutant trap. My understanding is that it's working, like as a demonstration, really, as an educational piece. But as far as maintenance and ongoing, it's got some questions around it. So maybe that might be a little bit deeper discussion that needs to be had around including that in that project.
Yeah, I haven't had any feedback from civil operations around the maintenance and that sort of stuff, so it's
Yeah.
probably a conversation that needs to be had.
I'm sure all those questions can be brought up during that workshop, briefing session, sorry. Okay, councillors, that looks like we've exhausted the questions on that report, so move Councillor Smith. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Wickerson? I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. While we got to there, Martin, we'll move on to the next item, the I-11.7 disaster ready funding, round 1, 23-24.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. This is another one of these retrospective type approvals that we're seeking to try and meet the government or state or federal government timelines. The federal government have released round 1 of the Disaster Ready Fund. It was released early January and closes on the 6th of March. However, the submissions for these have to come from the states. So the state government has nominated the Queensland Reconstruction Authority as being the submitter on behalf of the state, and so we were required to have our proposals to the QRA by the 13th of February, which didn't give us a real lot of time to work these up coming out of the Christmas period. We have nominated 3 particular projects. One's the Advanced Communications module on our disaster dashboard, and this is aimed at allowing opt-in and opt-out type notifications to come out of our emergency dashboard. It's an additional module, cost of about $32,000, which we would have to contribute $16,000. That's essentially going to be in kind from our staff wages out of our DM budget, so there's no particular budgetary impact there. The second application that we're looking for support for is the Robert Swarton Pavilion Evacuation Centre Emergency Generator. This one's a little bit different. I think we've been seeking a generator for the Robert Swarton Pavilion for quite some time through various funding submissions over the years and haven't quite nailed one at this point in time. So we're seeking funding once again, given that the Robert Swarton Pavilion is our primary and largest evacuation centre. Indicative cost of about $432,000, of which council would need to contribute $216,000. We do not have matching funding in the current capital budget for this. So be aware, I suppose, councillors, that if you wish to withdraw that particular one based on we don't have funding, we still have time to withdraw. Otherwise, if we're successful, we have to find that $216,000 either in next year or the year after 24-25 capital budgets. So that's a decision point for yourselves there, councillors. The third one is a rehash of a previous submission that was supported by council under a different funding stream, looking to get a business case developed for the raising of the Fitzroy Barrage, primarily on the basis of potential sea level rise and the carryover of seawater into our freshwater barrage pool. The estimated cost of that is about just short of 1.4 million, of which council would have to find 685,000. A peculiarity of this particular funding stream, however, is they allow you to use funding that you've already put into a project back to 1 July 2019. Now, we've already spent some funds on this particular project looking at various technical aspects. So at the end of the day, our contribution going forward would only have to be 370,000. We currently have 450,000 in the budget, in the capital budget in any case. So this one is funded.
So just a question on that one, Martin, because LSC draws from our pondage, is it like a dual application for a project of that?
No, not at this point in time. With council being basically owner of the asset and the owner of the resource operations licence to operate the barrage, we've basically taken it on.
Just something I thought may lend some weight to it, but yeah, that's answered that question. Thank you, Martin.
Yeah, certainly, sorry, Mayor, certainly in the application we made it known that this supports a wider community of over 100,000 people in Stanwell Power Station and unfortunately soon to be Gladstone as well.
Thanks very much for that
Sorry, I
one,
was
Martin.
probably getting a little political there. I shouldn't do that. I'll refrain from those sorts of comments in the future. I apologise.
Councillor Smith, question, then Councillor Wickerson. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. I know this has been discussed previously, and FRW even went out to talk to people along the river at Alton Downs Ridgelands area. There was some concern about people that lived along adjacent creeks and gullies that they might get more water in a flood. But I thought that at the time we were looking to raise it by a metre, so it's only going to be 500, not the metre.
Yep, through the chair, there'd been a number of different technical bodies of work that have been done over the past probably 3 or 4 years that investigated a number of different, I think the original one back probably 10 or 15 years ago was 2 metres. I think it then got taken down to a metre. Now we're down to ½ metre because of various reasons in relation to the age and the stability of the existing barrage and things like that. So 500 mil seems to be the most technically viable at this point in time. And that somewhat relates to the amount of flooding that anything over 500 mil would cause to upstream landholders as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks very much, Martin. Councillor Wickerson.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Through you to Martin. Just a question, Martin. Is this a case where we need to have a business case if we're going to seek further funding down the track? Is it just some...
That's certainly the strategy I've got in mind, is that I think anything we do with the barrage is probably going to be considerable amounts of money, and I think to do that we're going to need state and or federal support, and these days you essentially got to go through this project development sort of assessment framework, including business case developments to be able to leverage that sort of money.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought, but it always surprised me is the amount of money that's needed for something that's fairly straightforward. I thought,
yeah, we tend to build things in paper first, Councillor Wilkinson, these days, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that is just the process. Most of the major funding bodies require that sort of detail these days, given their generally competitive funds across the whole nation or across the whole state. You need to do that amount of work.
And I think there's more rigour around these disaster projects as well that need that level of detail going forward. I think there's previous history of applications going in with not much detail behind them and coming a bit short in some areas. Yeah.
Okay, no, good. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks very much, Councillor Wickerson. No further questions on that one. I'm happy to move. Seeker seconder, seconded Councillor Kirkland. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. I think that is an important one, though, that barrage raising one, councillors. I don't think we can understate the significance of what that means going forward. In some time, we'll need to address that. If we're not successful, we'll have to chase other funds in other areas as well. Moving on to our next item, councillors, the whole of council report for the 11.8, the whole of council corporate performance report for the period ending January 2023. Thanks very much, Ross. I'll hand over to you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, ordinarily we have time set aside this afternoon for detailed questions. This can put this into the public arena, but I'm happy to take any questions now, but normal processes
Okay, move Councillor Fisher to receive, and we could deal with some more detailed questions as we go through, but unless everyone's got anything burning questions at the moment, we could take that as a report. So could I seek a seconder with regards to Ross's report? Seconded Councillor Smith. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thank you. Thanks very much, Ross. Moving on to 11.9, the summary budget management report for the period ending the 31st of January 2023, and I'll hand over to Marnie to present her report. Thanks very much, Marnie.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and good morning, everyone. So presented this morning is the summary budget management report for the period ended 31st of January. As you're aware, councillors, we're actually looking at the revised budget or reviewed budget position for the monthly budget report later on in the meeting. So where effectively we're sitting at the present is that results should be around the 58.3% of the budget. Our operating revenue is at 87%, due mainly to our rates and charges being levied, and that closure date is the 8th of March. Other areas which are ahead of budget are the interest revenue based on the increases in interest rates, and also the holding of probably some more cash due to our lower spend in our capital program. In terms of our operating expenditure being at 55% of the budget, consultants and contractors are around the 54%, admin expenses 45%, and asset operational expenses are at 53% due to mainly timing, as we talk about generally at the meetings. Our finance costs are at 62% because of the timing of interest payments. So that will reduce back once we finalise those loans in March and June of this year. In terms of our capital income, we're only sitting at 28% of the monthly budget review, and our expenditure is sitting at 34%. Total investments are at $88.1 million as at the 31st of January, and loans were at $142.3 million. So our capital spend at the end of January was around the $60.9 million budget and $60.9 million actual, so quite considerably lower than what our budget position is, and we'll be reassessing those as we start to form up the capital budget for the remainder of this financial year, and also for the future financial years and beyond when we undertake those budget processes.
Okay, thanks very much, Marnie. Have we got an idea when those workshops will start to happen on those reviews for the budget?
We're doing the next workshop we're having with council is around the op plan, and then we'll follow that with council after that. So April, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Okay, councillors, any questions to Marnie on that report? If not, I'm happy to move adoption of the report. Seeker seconded. Seconded Deputy Mayor Councillor Fisher. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion is carried unanimously. Thanks very much, Marnie.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry, you're right. Move on to the next item, the houses.
Yes, so this is around a report that was presented to Council's meeting on the 9th of March 2021. It's in relation to the acquisition of properties which are considered worthless due to overdue rates and charges. So at that meeting, the motion was passed by Council to acquire the 3 parcels of land for overdue rates pursuant to Section 148 of the Local Government Regulation. That reference to that particular section of the Act was incorrect because it empowers Council to acquire the land for overdue rates and charges under Section 149(1) of the regulations. So as a result, we've brought this back to Council to resolve to amend the resolution in accordance with Section 262 of the Local Government Regulation to correctly reflect that Council is acquiring the land under Section 149(1). You will also note, councillors, that we have undertaken, since that report was presented to Council, we've also had some valuations taken on those properties to identify or ensure that we are identifying them as worthless land, and yeah, the valuations actually support that position. So the recommendation remains that we acquire those lands due to them being worthless and the unpaid rates balances outstanding on those properties.
Okay, thanks very much, Marnie. Pretty straightforward recommendation is the amendment of the previous recommendation. Question, Councillor Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I think, more land, it's going to be overgrown and not mowed, and we're going to get complaints about it, and I just wonder why we don't just offer them for sale straight away.
Marnie?
I can't really comment. I mean, I guess the land is in Westwood and Mount Morgan. They're probably already in locations which are not necessarily urban type of properties. So, yes, it may be subject to overgrown situation. However, the neighbouring properties are probably in a similar position anyway because of their locations.
Thanks, Marnie. Councillor Mathers.
Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to confirm, Marnie, I know I read in the report somewhere that it said, from once we start this process, the property owners still have, is it 6 months to actually
Yes.
pay? So I would imagine our plan, because this decision was made before my tenure
Yeah.
with council started, so obviously no one wants to see anyone lose their properties. So I gather we're trying to do this in the hope that it'll put pressure on the people to actually
Yeah.
pay the rates, correct?
Yeah, the issue is, Councillor Mathers, is also that two of the owners are deceased already. So we've had difficulty in terms of contacting anyone from their estate or anything in that
Okay.
space. And the other person or the other owner of the property was actually declared bankrupt. So there are concerns there in terms of our ability to recover or in the ability of those people to actually come forward to, or anyone related to those people to come forward and claim the land. So, yeah, but we will take all the necessary steps that are required.
Thanks very much for the background on that, Marnie. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Councillor Mathers. Councillors, no further questions with regards to Marnie's report. I'm happy to move. Seek a seconder. Seconded, Councillor Kirkland. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. And we'll move on to 11.11, Fees and Charges Amendment for February 2023. Again, thanks very much for that, Marnie.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So this is actually fees in relation to development compliance, and unfortunately Doug is unwell today, so hasn't been able to join us. However, I think I can cover most of the information as needed. Council has previously not been in a position to assess commercial type building applications for some time due to staffing and people in those positions. So we're now in a position where we can offer those services once again. So it's in our interest to be able to offer and charge and set some fees and charges in relation to that. So this is really just bringing those fees in for council to adopt in order for us to be able to charge them for future types of applications of this nature.
Okay, thanks very much, Marnie. Councillors, questions to Marnie on those? I'll get a couple of lights. Councillor Rutherford and then Councillor Mathers. Councillor Rutherford.
I was just a little confused by this one, Mr Mayor, and maybe some help. I thought we had made a decision not to do any private certification works at all, and that was recommended by the officers.
Evan?
Going back, we can't step out of private certification because we've got a statutory requirement under the Act to do it. There was we had to step out of commercial certification because we didn't have our staff weren't qualified to do that. So we stepped out of it at that point in time. Now our staff are qualified, so we can step back into that arena. Because currently, if somebody comes to council wanting to be building certified, we effectively can't turn them away. So we would then outsource that to other provider, who would then charge them for that. So effectively, that's how we pick it back up again.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Rutherford. Councillor Mathers.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I just wanted to say that, I think it's great that we're strengthening that team within the planning area to be able to offer this service, and I think it's a good addition to what we're doing, and I'm happy to move it.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Mathers. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Smith. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Moving on to our last item in open session, the 11.12, the discounted quarterly rating proposal. Marnie, would you like to walk us through this one, please?
Yep. Thank you, Mr Mayor. So, councillors, you will be aware that we've had this matter presented at several council meetings in the past couple of years, and we're bringing it back to council just to have a further discussion, I guess, about the possibility of discontinuing the quarterly rating proposal based on some of the information that's presented in the report. We are seeing if we step through, council was presented with this information back in 2021. It was originally raised in May 2020 when council considered the impacts of COVID, and the issuing of quarterly notices was a way of easing, I guess, the financial burden to ratepayers at that time when the country was in disarray and people were losing their jobs, and it was, there were challenges in relation to being able to pay those rates. We did last present the reports back to Council on, in December 21, and it was considered at that time that we would undertake community consultation in relation to the activity during the 22-23 financial year. At this stage, Council, as you would be aware, community consultation hasn't been conducted in relation to the matter, so it's now, we're bringing back this report to recommend the discontinuance based on a number of factors that have been outlined in the report, particularly in relation to our current outstanding rate balances. We're seeing probably record lows in relation to our arrears balances, with an average of about 2.3% for the 22-23 financial year. January actually had 1.75% prior to the issuing of the latest rate notices. The rate balances, or the outstanding rate balances, have improved considerably since 2020. We've also seen a decline in the number of assessments that we've been referring on to Collection House for recovery, and also the number of assessments that have been subject to legal action in relation to outstanding rates. Given the reduced arrears balances, it's considered that moving to quarterly rating would probably not improve on the amount of outstanding rates that we currently have, because we seem to have a pattern currently with our ratepayers, and to possibly change from half-yearly to quarterly may actually result in the timing of notices creating some element of confusion for ratepayers and the dates from which they are due to be paid in that discount period. Interestingly, quarterly issuing of water notices actually yields higher arrears than what the issuing of half-yearly rate notices. So we did have a look at that as well, just to see how we're travelling, and you can see in the report that the position is actually worsening in relation to our quarterly water billing. I don't know whether people don't, because they're smaller amounts, they don't necessarily focus on them, so they just leave them outstanding and they pay them at a later date. But we are seeing that arrears balance is worsening through 22-23 at 8.74% as of January. It is concerning that if we move to quarterly rating, what will happen to our arrears balances in relation to that if it follows a similar trend of people just not picking up on the water notices or just not paying them in time because they're more frequent. The other issue is that there can't really be a consideration of issuing rate notices and water notices in the same envelopes, because the reading of our water meters are done in sectors and they have different timings throughout the year. So not all water meters are read at once, as you would understand, and they're not all issued at the same time. They're issued at different times through the year. So we can't align the rate notice issues with the water notice issues for any particular sector, because they're all different in terms of the timing. So effectively, we're not really saving any postage savings in that space in relation to trying to align those quarterly billing processes or cycles. I guess if we then focus also on the cost implications, so we've already been speaking to Council, last month or earlier this month around what our budget process might look like and the challenges that we continue to see, particularly in relation to a very large capital budget and ongoing escalation in our operating costs and just general costs overall. We've dealt with quite a few financial blows in the last few years. So I believe that in addition to these operational costs, Council has seen a 10-year program of capital works that it's never seen previous to the last couple of years. So we've got inflationary pressures on escalations in goods and services, and we need to be looking at ways to reduce operating costs of Council. And I think introducing a quarterly rating process will add to those operational costs. It will add not only in tangible costs like postage and the printing costs of the printer, but also in terms of what the teams impact. We'll have additional contacts with our rates and revenue team, and also with our customer service team through the number of people having to contact Council, making arrangements, actually paying bills. The last week here, or the last couple of days here, this customer service centre has been quite busy. We still have the trend of where people are coming in and paying bills in person. We don't seem to be moving away from that all that much, so we're still seeing that contact with our customer service centre. So I guess, you know, our focus has been in the last 6 to 12 months is to try and refine and improve our customer service KPIs and try and get those expected KPIs back on track. You know, our call centre has had difficulties in terms of reaching that 75% of calls answered within 45 seconds. We've recently achieved that goal for the first time in quite a while. So I think this will deteriorate that outcome, and I mean it's a decision for council to make as to whether we want to maintain those KPIs or we see a deterioration in our response times because of those added pressures. It is likely that I would think that we'd need an additional staff member within that customer service team to cover that additional 2 cycles of quarterly rating if we needed to. The other considerations is in relation to our interactions with the community and signing up for e-notices. You know, we continue to promote that. However, even with the engagement, our registration rate is still quite low. It's less than 12% at this point in time. Our customer service officers and our rates and revenue team continue to promote those types of aspects and ask people or recommend to people that we sign up. We're looking currently at different ways of doing that interaction and, you know, potentially providing standalone iPads or machines in the customer service centre so that people can actually log on and try and get used to that look and feel. So we're focusing presently between customer service rates and IT, you know, in terms of our online platforms and what we can do with our online services and improving those interactions and making them more user-friendly, I suppose, which will hopefully try and get people more used to being online and get people more engaged in that space. The other aspect is that payment arrangement processes are also being reviewed in terms of how to provide clarity to ratepayers in relation to the documentation that they get, so that they're probably more across or more aware of what their expectations are and what happens if they default on a payment arrangement and those sorts of things. So they're the sorts of things that we're working on presently, and I think, you know, in relation to trying to engage more with our customers and providing them with better customer experiences, that's our focus moving forward.
Thanks very much, Marnie. We have a question, Councillor Kirkland.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Marnie, when the conversation around quarterly charging first came about, it stemmed from the table's desire to see our community assisted and helped during times of financial hardship. That's where the conversation started. And what you've presented today is a really convincing case that it speaks against going in that direction. And I think that's, you know, I'm happy to support that. I applaud the fact that the option for online receipt of those bills is going to be continued, that you're going to continue to push that messaging out, and that's a really good thing that those promotions continue. Coming back to the main reason for council, like, it's not about how much it was going to cost council at that time. It was more about how much council can help the community to get through a time where it, with COVID hitting us, it was just going to, we had no idea how people were going to pay their bills, and we're really blessed, I suppose, as a country and a nation that we've been able to get back on our feet and recover economically to a degree from that. Doesn't mean that pressure is not there still with our residents, and we're all hearing about that on the news on a regular basis. So as far as what can be done, I would strongly support a targeted approach to introduce people to that regular debit system where they can actually pay off their rates regularly at a lower rate. I don't know what the uptake is of that sort of a thing with council. Is it huge, or is it something that...
It's probably not, but there are people, you know, like I hear staff talking about it. I think a staff member last week said, I've still got to pay 50 cents because I didn't work out my timing right of going through BPay. You know, we're encouraging people to really self-instigate and control their finances, and by prepaying, and I know that there's this argument, well, I'm not giving council the money until I have to. Well, I mean, there's a couple of ways of doing it, and I think people can still do that through Ergon. You know, you can pay off your insurance by the month. You know, there's still the opportunities for people to spread those bills and self-instigate through a BPay system, and probably be more focused generally of their own ownership of that as well. But yeah, that's what our customer service officers are working with people on. Our rates and revenue team will continue to work with people on, and it's really about helping to self-instigate. I know that we're not getting the take-up of e-notices, but I guess that's one element. If we promote the online services, which are currently called e-services, it's quite confusing, I know. There is a confusion there as well. If we're looking to try and rebrand that to online services and actually get people engaged that way, it helps you. You know, you can see what your rate account is. You can see what payments or interactions you've had with council. So that will enable people to be a little bit more self-managed in that space.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Kirkland and Marnie, for that explanation. Again, I think Councillor Kirkland has articulated the reasons why we were looking to support the community with another simpler system, but the pros and cons of you've definitely showed the cons in this report, and I think that's quite clearly evident to the councillors that there's more impact than just the initial concept of trying to offer some type of an early system rather than having those the larger bills coming through on a half-yearly account. But I believe if there's ways that we can, again, educate the community on those options there of early payments and explain this is what those payments are going to deliver I think we've done it previously when we've sent out a rate notice to explain where their dollar is being spent. If we can tie that into those early payments, it helps people understand the reason why those rate notices are there, for what services are being provided through the council. So for sure. I think there's a link there rather than just the dollar figure about what's happening in that space. So I think we can talk about that in some of our workshops as we go through the budget process, rather than trying to funnel it into to a recommendation here. So that said, I'm happy to move as recommended. Seek a seconder. Seconded Deputy Mayor Councillor Fisher. I'll put those in favour. Those opposed, motion is carried unanimously. Thanks very much for the work that you put into that report, Marnie. It did explain the details and the problems that could be associated with that delivery of that style of service. Okay, councillors, we have a number of items to be dealt with in closed session, so could I seek a move and a seconder with regards to... Sorry, Councillor Smith, you've had one item there that you need to...
Urgent business.
Oh, urgent business, yes.
Now, I think this is urgent. I hope everyone else does too. I missed this on the news last week, but apparently RRC is one of, I think it was 8 councils who's had their drought declaration revoked. It was brought to my attention by a primary producer, and I just want to ask the question: the local drought committee, do they liaise with council? Because we've got a lot of farmers and graziers on our books, and the reason I'm concerned about it, I was talking to someone at Struck Oil just in the last day or so. They've got dams that are nearly dry, and I'm sure I heard someone at recent ratepayers that Councillor Rutherford and I were at a bore that in Dalma area that's been dry, first time in 90 years. We've had wonderful grass rain. We have not had underground water rain since 2017, which is 6 years ago. And we didn't actually get a lot of rain, and the most rain we've had in, the last 10 years was 2013, when Cyclone Oswald hovered over us. Now, people are worried, they have wonderful grass rain, but they haven't got any underground water replenishment, and they don't think that our drought declaration should have been revoked.
Yep. I was in Brisbane last week and caught up with the Minister while we were down there about that decision. Again, and the email I got back, and I'm waiting for a formal email to come through, and I'll forward that on to councillors. But it's being revoked as the area, but the primary producers can still apply if they believe that they need drought assistance, can still apply through IDP declaration, which is another link. So, as in an overall area, they've gone across the state and believe that we're not drought declared, as in the Fitzroy's flowing. I said, well, we're still carrying water to Morgan, we're still in the drought declaration from there.
Exactly.
But they took that on board, but in the overall landscape, they believe that it's not a position where we're drought. But if those primary producers believe that they are still impacted, then they can individually still apply for that funding in that space. So I'm just looking to get that email officially from the department, and I'll send that around to councillors to keep them briefed on it.
Okay, thanks, Mr Mayor. But how do we reach these people to let them know they can still apply? Because a lot of people wouldn't know that you can still apply for individual, and I know it's a lot of paperwork and some of it's really painful, and it takes a long time for a council to get on to a drought declaration. And it took us years, I believe. So, you know, I'm really concerned that we've been taken off.
We might raise that issue and see if there's some media to make those local residents aware of that, rather than council being, as it's not our call that happened, but talk to the state to see if there's a way that we can get them to do some media on it, so our local primary producers can be aware that they're still able to if they feel that they're in that space still apply.
And hopefully they can explain the reason to these people why they took it off, because people can't see the, you know.
Yep. It's not a council one, though. It's a government area, but it's a state declaration, councillor. So we'll do that. We'll make that engagement. Okay, councillors, we have 3 items to be dealt with in closed session, and I'll put the recommendation that the meeting move into closed session to discuss the following items, which are considered confidential in accordance with 254J3 of the Local Government Regulations 2012 for the reasons indicated. 16.1 budget review for January, 16.2 the commercial lease, and 16.3 the commercial operational lease. And Councillor Smith has a conflict.
I would just suggest this council just deal with 16.1, 16.2, come back out.
Okay.
And then take that one back.
Okay, we'll deal with the 2 items first, as Councillor Smith has a conflict with item 16.3. So we'll deal with the first 2 councillors, and we'll come out of closed session and then go back in once Councillor Smith removed from that one. So the 2 items there, 16.1, 16.2, I'm happy to move as recommended. Seek a seconder. Seconder Councillor Wickerson. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. And that the meeting move into closed session to be closed to the public. And again, I'm happy to move. Seek a seconder. Councillor Kirkland. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thanks very much.
Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming. I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine.
Open session. Thanks very much, Karen. Councillors, item 1 that I'm happy to move the recommendation of the officers that the budget estimate changes be endorsed. Seek a seconder. Councillor Fisher. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. And that the second recommendation is that the Chief Executive Officer coordinate the property insurance be authorised to proceed with option 1 as outlined within the report. Councillors have a mover with regards to that one. Move Councillor Smith, seconded Councillor Fisher. Put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thanks very much, councillors. Now, councillors, we'll need to move. Councillor Smith has a declaration on this one. So could I have a mover and a seconder that in accordance with the meeting be closed to the public to discuss the items which is considered confidential in accordance 254J3 Local Government Regulations 2012 as for the reasons indicated. I'm happy to move. Seek a seconder. Councillor Mathers. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried. And that the meeting move into closed session. I'm happy to move. Seek a seconder. Seconder, Councillor Wickerson. I'll put that. Those in favour? Motion's carried unanimously. Thank you.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Okay, yes. So, recommendation. That the manager airport be authorised to proceed as outlined in the body of the report. I'm happy to move. Seek a seconder. Councillor Kirkland. All those in favour? And that's carried and that's unanimous. Yep. Do you want to? Huh? That's, yeah. So, yeah. Thanks, Marcus. So, we're back. Councillor Smith, welcome back. With that and no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 11:34. Thank you.